If you follow my channel, you know I reviewed the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5 14-inch 2-in-1 with that AMD Ryzen processor a couple of months back. One of my favorites of this year because it had a great price to performance ratio. I couldn't wait to get the Intel variant into the studio, which is exactly what I did. I've been putting it through its paces for the last couple of weeks, and a couple of things stand out. Number one, it's the same build and design as the Flex 514 with the AMD Ryzen processor, same display, and it also has a really great price. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5 14-inch 2-in-1 with the Intel processor. Coming up. Want to see more videos like this? Why not hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell. This way you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. And make sure you follow me on my social media. I post a lot of updates on those platforms. And why not check out our Discord server? It's a great place for us to hang out and talk tech. Link will be in the video description below. And today's video is brought to you by all the members who contributed this month to the channel. Want to become a member? Hit that join button below. And in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by Lenovo, I'm not being sponsored by Lenovo. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own, and no one is seeing this video before its release. This review unit was provided by Lenovo. Once this review is done, I'll be sending it back. Now, the Intel version of the Flex 515 14 2-in-1 comes in at $559.99. I'll put the link below for more information and where you can buy it. Now, that $549 starting price gets you a Core i3. I don't think I would go with that one. Head on over to Costco. For $699, you can get the Core i5 version, and that's what we're looking at here today. Now, don't confuse this with the Lenovo Flex 5G. That's a much more expensive device that runs a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8cx processor with Windows on ARM. Again, a very different device than what you're seeing here today. And let's not forget that I already reviewed the AMD version of the IdeaPad Flex 5 14 2-in-1. I'll put the link below for more information and where you can find that video, as well as where you can buy it. Now, it does seem to be sold out from Lenovo's website, but you can still get a few units over at Amazon. Again, these AMD chips are very hard to find nowadays, so if you want to get the AMD version, you'll have to hunt around. But again, I'll put what I can find in the link below. And with specs and pricing out of the way, let's find out what you get inside the box. Let's open it up. Now, inside the box, of course, is some documentation, warranty information, a 65-watt USB-C power adapter. It's the same as we saw with the AMD version of this laptop. Now, this is the same build and quality as the AMD version that we took a look at a couple of months ago. The lid is metal, but the remaining part of the body is plastic, and it has a nice soft coating on it, or sort of a matte coating on it, that gives it a more premium feel. I actually like the build quality a lot of this laptop. And at 3.3 pounds or 1.5 kilograms, definitely not the lightest out there, but definitely portable enough to take with you on the go. And as we always do, let's check out the port selection. We'll start off on the left side, where you find a power port. Even though it does have a USB-C power adapter in the box, you get an HDMI port, a USB-C port. You also get a 3.5mm audio jack. Moving over to the right side is your power button, a full-size SD card reader. I love to see that, and two USB-A ports to round out the ports on this laptop. That's a pretty good port selection at this price point. And here it is next to the AMD version. Of course, the body and exterior, the chassis are all the same. The only differences, of course, are going to be the CPU and the integrated graphics. And I like the fact that Lenovo makes it pretty easy to get inside this laptop. Just remove the T5 Torx screws, pop off the bottom plate, and you're in. And once inside, you'll notice a single fan for cooling. The battery is a 52.5 watt-hour battery. We'll get into battery life later on in this video. Unfortunately, the RAM is soldered into the motherboard. You won't be able to upgrade that, but the SSD is user upgradable, so you can expand out the storage if you so choose. And speaking of the SSD, you get some very good reads and writes, as you can see from these results. Now, it has Wi-Fi 6 along with Bluetooth 5.0, all working well on that front. The good news is that Wi-Fi 6 card is user replaceable as well. Now, when it comes to the display, it's very similar to the one we saw with the AMD version. It has a full HD resolution that's 1920 by 1080, 14-inch display, of course, and it got as bright as 280 nits, which is a little bit better than the 250 nits I saw on that AMD version, so a little bit brighter, it seems, on the Intel version, or at least the unit that I have. Black levels are very good at 0.30. Of course, the lower the better. Good white points, decent contrast. Delta E score is okay. I would like to see a little bit lower on that in terms of the color accuracy, and the coverage of the color gamut is not the best. As you can see, 65% sRGB, 49% Adobe RGB, 49% of the DCI P3 wide color gamut, 45% NTSC. So this is not the best choice for those content creators that are doing Lightroom, Photoshop, and of course video editing, but for the average consumer, this is more than adequate in terms of the color gamut. It's got some pretty slim side bezels, a somewhat slim top bezel, and of course it does have a little bit of a chin on the bottom. Now, this is a 2-in-1, so that's not uncommon for that chin to be there, especially on a convertible laptop. Now, the top bezel does house the webcam, and speaking of which, let's check it out.
So this is the front-facing camera on the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5 14 Intel version. It's a 720p 30 frames per second webcam. It's not Windows Hello, so you won't be able to log in with face recognition, but you can do Zoom, you can do Skype with it, and I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below.
And I love the fact that it has a physical shutter switch to turn off the webcam, giving you more privacy and security. Now, something to keep in mind, the camera is not an infrared camera, meaning it's not Windows Hello compatible, but there is a fingerprint scanner located below the keyboard on the right side. Worked well, registering my finger each and every time I used it. Great for Windows Hello login. This being a convertible, of course, means you can put it into the different modes. You can put it into tent mode, great for consuming media, watching Netflix, YouTube, and the like. That's the same for the stand mode as well. And of course, you could always put it into the tablet mode because you can use this with the pen, and it's great in that tablet mode. The pen is not included. It's a separate accessory, but just like the AMD version, it worked well. It uses the Wacom AES technology, and it's good for taking notes, sketching out artwork. And of course, you could even get it with that accessory that allows you to put it in one of the USB ports that allows you to store it on the device, just like I showed on that AMD version. But it doesn't come with this laptop. Again, it's a separate accessory. Now, let's talk about the keyboard, and when it comes to key travel, it's a bit on the shallow side, so keep that in mind, although it does have pretty decent tactile feedback. I didn't feel like my fingers were bottoming out, and it was comfortable typing for extended periods of time. Now, as far as the touchpad is concerned, it is a precision touchpad. It's a plastic touchpad, decently sized, and it does do two-finger scrolling pretty well, and all the Windows 10 gestures work as advertised. I think they did a nice job in terms of the touchpad. No complaints on that front. Now, of course, you could always use the pen, since it is pen compatible here with that Wacom AES pen to navigate through the OS, and I thought it was very comfortable as well. Navigating with your fingers with that touch display also worked well. Everything seemed to be working as advertised. And when it comes to performance, when you look at this and the AMD, and when it comes to performance, it comes as no surprise that the AMD version actually did better due to its better graphical performance with its integrated Radeon graphics. Although the results are very good for the Intel. Again, if you want to have an Intel laptop, the PC Mark 10 score actually is a good indicator of everyday use. It did well in that. All the other scores did very respectable. Now, of course, this is not a gaming laptop, but if you want to play some of the games, you're going to have to lower it down to either the medium or lower settings. Obviously, you'll get more playable frame rates. Again, don't expect to play AAA titles on their highest settings. It really just can't handle that. That's not what this laptop is all about. And battery life was pretty good, but not quite as good as the AMD Ryzen 5 version that I took a look at, but not bad at all. 7 hours and 47 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. Now, they do include a 65-watt USB-C power adapter in the box. It takes less than 2 hours for a full charge, and that's, of course, pretty good. Now, the two speakers which are located on the keyboard deck, as you see the speaker grills here, are actually surprisingly good, filling up the room pretty nicely. Decent bass, decent mids, very surprising for this price point, but a nice pleasant surprise at that. Decent sound on this. So to wrap it all up, can I recommend the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5 14 with the Intel processors? And the answer is yes, I do like it, especially at this price point. It's got a nice build and design, very good battery life for this price point as well, comfortable keyboard, precision touchpad, good sound for a mid-range laptop, that's for sure. I like that it has pen support and it comes in at a great low price. I also like the fact that it has a full-size SD card reader, not something we see every day anymore. Now it also has a pretty nice array of ports, and there are very few negatives on this. There are no real deal breakers. Some might not like the polycarbon or plastic material on the exterior, except the metal lid on the top is of course metal, and it's about a 50% sRGB. Doesn't cover the color gamut that well, so it's not going to be that great for those content creators or those professionals that need color grading. But at this price point, I think it has a lot to offer. So those that don't want to break the bank, this is a very good offering that doesn't have too many compromises. It's definitely a buy. So what do you think about this bad boy, the Flex 5 14-inch? Now this is, of course, a pen that is a separate accessory. It's a Wacom pen. It uses the Wacom AES technology, and it's great for taking notes, sketching, and artwork. Doesn't come included at this price point, but you can buy it as a separate accessory. Build quality, pretty much the same. You got that metal lid, polycarbonate exterior on the bottom and on the keyboard deck. Has a soft coating, a really premium feel. Doesn't feel cheap in any way, just like the AMD model. Now, performance with that Core i5 is not going to be quite as good as that AMD Ryzen 5 that we took a look at. That has better integrated graphics, but for the price you get here, Microsoft Word, email, web browsing, it all worked well. The display is a 14-inch display. This got actually a little bit brighter than I measured on the AMD variant. This got 280 nits. I measured 250. Not the biggest difference, but the extra 30 nits certainly helps. Again, a 2-in-1 convertible. Use it in the tent mode. Stand mode, of course, tablet mode with the pen. If you choose to use a pen, again, the Wacom AES technology, so you can use other pens that use that standard. Now, as far as battery life, we're looking at a little bit more than 7 hours and 45 minutes. I think I measured 747, not quite as good as the AMD version, but good nonetheless. Definitely for this price point, that's not a bad result with that 52.5 watt-hour battery. Now you can get this right now with a starting price of about $449 on sale over at Lenovo. I wouldn't get that model. That is the Core i3. Head on over to Costco, pay a little bit more. You get the Core i5 that I reviewed here today. And of course, if you could find the AMD variant, which is not the easiest thing to do, go get that one because that'll have better performance and better graphics power with that integrated Radeon graphics. But again, hard to find right now here in late 2020. Again, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.